Hey, everybody. This is another episode of the Unblocking podcast. This week I have Stefano here. What are we talking about today, Stefano?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do after graduating. Um,
Mm,
so
classic.
yeah,
Many people have this issue, so this will be a good one.
yeah. So I'm gonna finish my master in a month. I'm presenting my thesis at the end of August. I did my master here in Switzerland, university called EPFL in data science, so basically machine learning, computer science. And I did my bachelor in computer science, so that's kind of my main field of expertise. Right, I through the master I did some research in reinforcement learning. I did and also computational social science, and now I'm like writing my thesis in a startup that does like search engines for legal firms, basically. And it's not that I have no idea what I want to do. There are some kind of constraints. So for instance, I know that yeah, I would like to be in machine learning, maybe reinforcement learning related fields. I know that I also have like a set of interests that is outside of kind of the technical field. So for instance, I'm interested in social science, psychology, cultural evolution. I would really like to find something that kind of combines these two. Um, and I'm also interested in startup, and I feel like I have an entrepreneurial kind of attitude. But I've been kind of exploring ideas with a friend in the last few months, and I figured out that I don't want to do a startup just for the sake of it. Like I really want to do something that excites me and that I really want to work for the next 5, 10 years. So right now, my kind of best bet would be to join some kind of industry research lab where um, yeah, they do. I don't want to do like a PhD because I feel like it's kind of lonely and you end up uh, not advancing too much and optimizing for stuff like citation and stuff, which I don't really care about. Um, okay, I'll finish.
Cool.
Just yeah,
No, no,
no,
keep going. This is
one
good.
more thing is that I realized in the last few weeks that probably one of the things which would kind of combines all of this interest of mine is to open a research lab, something like DeepMind or, but I think that it's kind of far away. Like I wouldn't feel confident doing something like that right now. So that's why I would probably try to find a job at a place that is kind of something similar. So because the idea of working in a group for like solving a research question and 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 it also being in some way applied and not just theoretical for a paper kind of excites me. I hope. Yeah, I've been a bit messy. I don't know if it kind of
No,
makes
that's
sense.
good. So is it fair to say that your ideal job right now would be to work at somewhere like OpenAI, Anthropic, DeepMind, like one of these AI research labs, or is that not quite right?
I I think I came to realize that it's probably the case. The only thing that is missing from something like that is that I have this feeling that I would like to have my own thing. You know, like the a project that I bring on, and I decide the direction and decide where it's going, and I think that might be missing there. But um,
Totally.
yeah, and then but yeah, like I would be excited to even if it's not OpenAI or like the most famous one. I like um
Okay,
something in that direction
yeah.
would probably be interesting. Yes.
I'm just gonna start asking a lot of questions. Like none of them are. I'm not trying to lead you anywhere in particular necessarily.
Hmm.
I need data in order
Yeah.
to kind of figure out what's going on. So let's just try to get through as many as we can somewhat quickly, and then I'll kind of move the conversation back more toward storytelling, and we can figure out narrative. But like, uh, so I'll just jump into it. One, how much money are you making right now?
I'm doing an internship. I'm making 3,500
A
francs per
month.
week. Yes.
Yeah, and then you're doing an internship. And do you think that's going to convert into a full time offer if you want it?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. And then so you basically, how many weeks until you need How much
Um,
runway do you have? Like, if you didn't have a job, would you need a job? Like, do you need to be
uh,
paid?
I I could probably have like 4 or 5 months of runaway.
Yeah.
Yes,
Um, do you would you want to go? Would you want to stay in Germany? Did you say you're in Germany?
in Switzerland right now.
In Switzerland, sorry. Would you want to stay in Switzerland, or
Um,
would you want to go to the US? Would you want to go to some other country?
I'm fine moving. Europe and the US. I would be fine moving anywhere. Yeah,
Do you have a preference? Like, if you could choose,
if I could choose, I would stay here right now.
you'd stay.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, it's not such a big preference.
yeah. Um, do you have people that you really want to work with in the world that you're like pretty confident if you could work with them, that would be good?
Yeah, I have this friend of mine that we kind of explore ideas for the last semester, and I really like working with him. But right now, there's no clear alignment. Like I told him about this idea of like having research lab, and but he's not too into that topic. We were kind of more aligned before, so I feel like we're not too aligned. But yeah, I would really like to work with him specifically.
Are there any groups that are doing the sort of work already that you want to be doing?
Yeah, I saw some. Yeah, specifically like very recent, the last 2 weeks, I got interested into open-ended AI. Um, and I saw some groups at DeepMind, OpenAI doing this kind of thing. Um, I feel like my interest shift kind of quickly, so I wouldn't. I'm not still sure that that's probably the thing I'm gonna do. But yeah, there are people doing similar.
How good do you think you are at what you do compared to how good you could possibly be at what you do? Like,
Not
as a
very.
percentile or something, maybe.
Okay, 30% compared.
30th percentile compared to 100. Like, 100 would be the best.
What like I could probably, yeah. I think I can reach
Yeah.
100. I'm like 30. Yeah,
Okay. And how good do you think the average person at DeepMind is on that same percentile ranking?
hard to tell.
According to your own goals,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Not theirs, but yours.
50. I think.
50. Okay. Yeah, sure. It's more just about instinct.
Very
It's
roughly.
not trying to be correct.
Hmm.
Um, and then, are you happy?
Right now.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm jumping around, but important things to
Yeah,
know.
I would say like yeah, I would say overall I'm happy. Like I see
Overall happy.
improvement. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um, do you, like, when it comes to work,
Hmm.
does work feel easy to you, or does work feel difficult, and like stressful?
Not stressful. I often feel like I would like to do something else. Like I have many other interests, and I find it hard to get excited about stuff that get imposed on me. So like I
Hmm.
always feel like I would like to escape and find, and it's always like reading other stuff, implementing other stuff, but it's not, yeah, what I'm
Yeah.
more.
I want to talk about your attention a little bit. Do you have a good concept of your attention, like where it is, where it's directed, that sort of thing?
You mean in the set of topics that I'm interested in?
No, I'm almost like in the moment. Like if I asked you like what were you paying attention to at 10 a.m. today? Like, would you roughly be able to know what that was? Do you have like a good
Yeah,
memory of your attention,
yeah.
stuff like that?
It
Okay.
could be 10 a.m. I can tell you. Yes.
Um, so my question is like, with respect to your attention, where is it going? Like, as a percentage breakdown, kind of like where is your attention going? I especially want to know, like, because you're interested in doing other things. I presume some percentage of your attention is like focused on stuff on the internet. So it's like focused on reading things or like Twitter or YouTube or like whatever. I'm curious about those breakdowns, and I'm also curious about like your work and your studies, your friendships, like whatever. Kind of
Okay.
where is your attention going in a week?
Okay. I would say 50% right now in my current internship, what I'm doing. Um, Probably uh
And this is
20%.
as like a time breakdown. So it's like 50% of your waking hours
Yeah. Yeah.
currently in your internship, something like that.
Yes. Um, Probably 20% on stuff that I read online, different Twitter as well. I like scrolling through that, watching videos, trying to explore topics that seem interesting. Yeah. Um, Another 20% on, I would say, relationships, like uh, yeah, uh, my girlfriend and other relationship. Um, and last 10% on like sport, music, and like kind of free time
Yeah,
and enjoyment.
but no, yeah, no like video games, no,
I,
nothing like
I
that.
don't. No, no. I
Cool.
Yeah. I don't play video game. I don't watch a lot of TV
Yeah.
series.
Okay. And then do you, of the 50% that you spend on work, can you break that down for me a little bit? Like what percentage is spent on like meetings and clerical stuff? What percentage is spent on like the work itself? And then like what is that specific thing? What
Mhm.
is the thing that you focus on that is the work?
Yeah. So I would say of that 50%, probably 5% is meetings. Then there is um, the the other remaining half is code, like writing code, running experiments, trying new stuff. And right now the other half is writing my thesis. That takes quite a lot of time. But this was just the last 3 weeks. Before it was
Yeah.
mainly writing code, reading papers, coming up with new idea to like improve. Uh,
Yeah. And what are you improving? Like what is the objective of the work in this case?
um, I'm basically trying to improve the search engine that they have there. Um, yeah, I cannot go too much in the details, but
Yeah, okay. So there's some sort of
essentially,
NDA. You're basically like improving search engine quality.
yeah.
Um,
So like it's
okay.
a research task. I need to read papers and
Yeah,
figure out a way
makes
to apply the stuff from there on our
makes
product.
sense. Okay, I think I have some decent picture. And then one question I have is something like if you could change your attention. So if you could just like immediately take a like teleport into a world where everything was going really well,
Hmm.
what would what would you be focusing on instead? Not in these broad camps like work, but I mean like I assume like some percentage of your attention would be going into a research project because you said you want to do a research lab. What would you be researching?
Hmm.
Uh, and then what? Where else would your attention be?
Yeah, I would say I'd like probably 60% of my attention be focused. Right now, I feel like it's mainly an exploratory phase. um, there are different ideas that really excite me, and I would like to look deeper into them. For instance, yeah, through the years, I went through different topics that I was interested, and I kind of prompted them to ChatGPT the other day, ask it like, what are the fields that kind of represent this, and it came up with kind of cultural evolution, which is the idea of like how intelligence emerges from culture and how like the culture
Sure,
shapes itself.
makes sense.
um, so I would like right now I would like to spend time looking into that and see how it can be applied to AI, maybe like how AGI could be found from that, which is a very kind of broad research topic, and where like um, yeah, it's just research, I would say. So yeah, I would say like ideally right now I would like to spend time just reading and maybe making small experiment, and especially interacting with people that are like expert in this field to kind of
Totally.
yeah.
And right now, the block on that is like primarily you just spend so much of your time on work. It would be difficult to spend so much time, or is the blocker more like you actually do have time in your schedule that you could take these calls, but it's almost like you don't feel like you could do justice to them, or like what's currently stopping you from talking to the experts that you want to talk to?
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. First one I would say work, but it's not the main one. Like the main one is that I don't feel ready. Like I don't feel like I have enough knowledge in the field to go up to them and talk. And so like I would probably need some more time to read through stuff and feel like I would make meaningful question before approaching them. Yeah.
Okay. And do you realistically feel like if we're being honest, how many hours of like writing and thinking about questions would you need before somebody would enjoy a conversation with you?
If I guess it depends how much I wander around and how much I focus on a specific topic. But if I pick up a specific person I want to talk to and look at what are the topics they're interested in, I think in like, I don't know, 10, 15 hours, I could be prepared for that specific person to like have
Hmm.
an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
But it's a very rough estimate, right?
I think that's pretty, I think that's a pretty high bar.
Is it?
Personally, like my
Okay.
instinct is people enjoy talking about their work like a lot. They really enjoy it.
Mm,
And, um, and realistically, I think people would enjoy talking to you
okay.
with a lot less effort. So that's just one. Do you believe that, or is that like probably not? Like personally, if somebody came up to you and talked to you about your work, do you feel
Yeah.
like? how many hours of prep would they need to do? 15?
No, yeah, probably not.
It's like, yeah, it would be nice if you did like an hour. Like, it'd be nice if you did like 30 minutes of prep or something so that you weren't just like, oh, so what do you do? You know, like, you don't want to, it doesn't want to be small talk. But I feel like if you came up with a good list of questions, you could probably improvise a conversation on the fly that they would
Mm.
enjoy as long as you directed it reasonably well.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
especially if you like maybe you agreed to record that conversation so they could have the recording, or you could
Mm.
you could say like I don't know, you don't even need to do that. It's just you can also imagine how you can add value to the other person because you asking them questions they haven't thought about in a while could itself be fascinating. Especially if you want to run a research lab, it feels like you should trust your intuition.
Hmm.
If you have to do 15 hours of like
Yeah.
reading before you can intuitively have a conversation with other researchers, then like you can't run a research lab because obviously you're going to be working with a lot of researchers in that case. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't do those 15 hours. I'm sure you'll learn a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say like one pathway toward you getting closer to research labby stuff is just having more conversations with researchers and spending more attention on that
Yeah.
and probably reducing that bar that you have for what it takes to talk to somebody like that into like all I need to do actually is I need to like do you journal? Do you have a writing practice at all?
Yeah. Yeah. I write quite often.
Yeah. It's like all you really need to do is like journal about what questions you really think somebody maybe hasn't heard before, or maybe they have heard them, but like you
Mm.
personally would just enjoy, you would enjoy the conversation so much that you think they would appreciate that enjoyment.
Hmm.
Something like that.
So do you
That's one
think
suggestion.
recording these and like opening a kind of podcast just for the sake of
Yeah, and I would think I would think of it less like kind of like these podcasts that I'm doing right now. I'm not doing them because I want a podcast show to like
Mm.
I don't know become popular or something. It isn't like oh Andrew's starting a podcast. It's like no, I have my own business. Like that's what I do
Hmm.
professionally. The reason I record them is because it improves like having an artifact allows you to go back and review it and like remember your life and remember the sorts of conversations you have and remember what people have been thinking about. And those artifacts can be useful in a few different ways. The reason that this artifact, like this podcast, started is because my wife asked me, "I'm confused. It feels like you keep helping people with their careers, but you keep doing it privately, and so like I don't know what you're actually doing. Can you like record it so that I can see what you're doing?" And
Hmm.
then I was like, "Yeah, of course. Like that's really easy to do."
Hmm.
Um, so there's somewhat similar things. Like you would be surprised, even if one person, which is just your future self, appreciates the recording,
Hmm.
it's useful to have.
Yeah.
And then, so anyway, I think that's easy. We can kind of move on to other stuff. So realistically, you have 5 to 6 months. I think that's not enough time to start a company
Hmm.
personally,
Yeah.
is what I tend to recommend founders. Have you sold anything before? Have you ever been an entrepreneur? I think selling stuff's really hard, especially for people who are as smart as you. I think selling stuff's really, really hard because you think like you're going to get in your own head about it in a lot of ways. And you're going to think that kind of like your 15 hours of prep thing, like you're going to think that you need something like ridiculously good before you can sell it.
Hmm.
And that's going to make the 5 or 6 months even more stressful, honestly.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean you shouldn't do stuff on the side at all and like, or anything like that. I'd just say that's you should have a clear plan if you want to spend that money on some sort of independent path. And that clear plan should not be like completely indie.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, oh, I'm going to spend 3 months trying to raise, or I'm going to spend 3 months applying to accelerator programs, or I'm going to spend 3 months like becoming a fellow somewhere. Like you should join some structured program
Hmm.
that is going to help you on your path because that's about the amount of runway you have. You have like about the amount of runway to like figure out what structured program you want to join, go join a structured program, and then see if that program gives you more options.
Okay.
I don't think you have enough time for just completely free um,
Yeah. Yeah. I.
exploration if you want that to also sustain you.
Hmm.
Um, in terms of the amount of time I think it takes on average for people who are like completely free exploration to be able to pay their bills with their kind of complete explorations and also not feel stressed about that, it's like probably 2 to 3 years
Mm. Okay.
on balance, something like that.
Hmm.
Um, that's how long it took us, at least. I started a company and then failed it, and then I tinkered. Like once I realized that you can't just like start companies, it's like if you just if you just do the first thing that you come up with, that's a good idea. You're like, wait, actually, what if it's wrong in all sorts of ways? So instead, you often need to like tinker and like try a lot of small things instead. And once you get into that mindset, it doesn't take too much longer, but it's still, you need time to like play around with these ideas. And then it took me like maybe another, after failing the first time, it took me maybe another year and a half of like tinkering before we found something that felt like, oh yeah, this, I really love doing it. People really want to pay for it. Like it kind of fits, all the pieces kind of fit together. But we tried a bunch of things in between. It's not that everyone is on the same speed as this, but after talking to a lot of different founders and running a space for a lot of different founders, it's just pretty rare that people are able to like discover who they are and discover what they like and discover a market and there's just so many different things
Hmm.
that you need to be connected in order for you to be self-sustaining in the world. And one thing I tell people is like you often need to develop a reputation for something, and developing that reputation for something independent itself is one of the slowest parts of the process
Mm.
because nobody is going to give you that reputation for free. They want to see you continuing to work on something over time without support,
Mm.
and not like without your own private support. Obviously, you should have private support, but almost like without a lot of public support because they want. It's almost like the market wants to verify that you care about what you're doing so much that you're going to keep doing it for years. And once people know that about you, you start to have a reputation for being like the guy who does that thing. And then
Yeah.
that can help. You can even look at OpenAI itself. I mean, they tinkered for so long
Yeah.
before they found,
Yeah.
what was going to end up working for them. Anyway, obviously, if you raise, you can buy time to tinker and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
I don't necessarily want to go down that path right now. One thing I'm kind of curious about is like, okay, this internship's coming up, and you're feeling like maybe there's a few different directions you could explore. What feels fun? Like, what are some options that just off the top of your head you're like, oh yeah, that feels really fun. That seems really cool. I've heard other people do that. I'd like to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. As I said before, the most fun thing right now, I think, would be to join a research lab in the industry. Um,
And to have these conversations with people, it sounds like,
yeah.
about
Yeah.
like social and cultural evolution and stuff like that.
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah,
Having those also writings. I really like writing.
yeah.
I would like
Do you have
to.
a blog?
I don't. Yeah. I tried to start it in the past. I wrote some articles, but then I never felt like they were good enough. Yeah. I guess again, this kind of. Yeah. I like writing. Um,
Yeah, so it'd be fun to spend more time writing, having
yeah.
really
I was
good
also
conversations.
Yeah, I was also thinking that maybe I should start being more active on Twitter or
Sure.
LinkedIn
Where
too.
do you think these people are? Like, where are these people who are studying cultural evolution? Who are they? Like, can you name some of them?
Yeah,
Um,
no, it's not just cultural evolution; it's also like the
yeah,
intersection with AI. But I would
yeah,
say
totally.
universities and and research lab and
Like those concepts, or like every university. Like, are there specific? What I mean is like, are there specific people that
Mhm.
exist at some specific location or on the internet that you could reach out to, and who are
Yeah.
some of those people?
Um, I think I didn't look that much into it, but
Yeah,
yeah, I could name some.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I could name some. So,
cool.
um, y- yeah, I should.
And they're
There's one.
mostly on like the research side of things. You'd say, like they're looking at it from a pretty academic perspective.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but I should definitely start reaching out more to the people that I think are interesting and just trying to get because like they're not even that famous and popular. Uh,
Well,
but
even if they were, they might talk to you anyway. I think the thing to realize is if you want to like, what would you call this archetype or something?
which
Like
archetype?
like this grouping of people. Like what's your name for them? Like AI researchers? Is there like a different like AI researchers with a specialty and culture researchers? Like what's the
Yeah, I would say AI researcher, but with a like I feel like most of the AI researchers now are very narrow in their thinking. They don't try to see like the long term. So yeah, kind of more open-ended AI researcher that also try to think in the long term what is still missing now, and have also a bit of maybe philosophical and high level picture of
yeah
what's the situation right now. Yeah,
yeah and I wonder if you can come up with like a punchy name for this or something, and then
yeah,
I wonder if you can just start to identify as one of these people.
Mm.
where you're like, oh, these are just my people. It's like it's me and all the other open-ended AI researchers. Like those are
Yeah.
the people that I get along with, or those are the people that I identify with, and and that's what I identify as. And that way, when people ask you what you do, you kind of say like, hey, what I do, like I'm an open-ended AI researcher. That's what I really do. Like that's what I spend my free time doing. Those
Mm.
are the sorts of conversations that I have. That's what I write about on my blog. Like I'm fascinated by these open-ended AI research questions, and specifically, I'm kind of fascinated by the idea that culture is more intelligent than the sum of its parts, and that there's some idea of like, what if we could produce culture inside of these networks?
Mm.
Um, and what would that mean? Like, how can we measure culture? And what is culture scientifically?
Yeah.
Uh, and if that's the canned response, or that becomes closer to the canned response for when people ask you what you do,
Hmm.
rather than like, oh, I'm like optimizing the search engine. You say you don't care about this search engine thing. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no reason to identify with it. It's what you're doing. That's true. Like you also work as, um, as a researcher and engineer, optimizing algorithms and stuff like that. But what you really identify as is this other type of thing. I think what that will also help you do is it will help you navigate social space. So there
Mm.
is a network that you're connected to already through
Hmm.
this podcast, for instance, through your Twitter, through these people that you're imagining in your head that wants, like, it's not even like it wants you to be a part of it. It's like you're already a part of it. You are part of the network. You might be at the edge of the graph and
Hmm.
you kind of want to traverse the graph or something and like get closer and have more connections. But,
Hmm.
but like you're in it regardless of how many steps removed you are. And so if you start to say like that's what I am, like I'm in this network, this is the
Mm.
thing that I'm doing, I wonder if people will also start routing you around. They're like, oh, you know what? I should introduce you to, like, I'm immediately thinking of a couple of my friends who do this research. So it's like I'm thinking of my friend Ivan. I'm like, oh, you should meet Ivan. Maybe a lot of people just don't even know that this is what
Yeah.
you want, or that this is
Mm.
what you're doing, or this is what you're interested in. If people did know, to me, this feels like a niche enough subfield that they can take every talented person they could get. Like they want as many people to be talking about it as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel the same way, but
Yeah. Yeah. This definitely feel very convincing. I think that in the past I struggle a lot with like this defining what I'm interested in, and only recently I try to go deeper and uh yeah, try to really categorize it. and and it's one of the big problem because yeah, if you don't have a clear definition when you start talking with people, I cannot give a 2 hours talk on like all the little things. Like you need to summarize it in some way and condense
totally.
it. Yeah, so I should yeah focus on that and then focus on
You you do search engine optimization, right? It's like think of these things as queries. Like uh,
yes.
a blog post is a very long search string, and
And
when you
it's
put it onto the internet, it starts to run a very long running search process that will like send things to you over time. And
mhm,
similarly, like a tweet is like a relatively short search string, and it goes out into the network and it like searches for replies that will funnel into that tweet. And
yeah.
so, like, what do you want to search for? Is kind of the question of the internet. And you'll need to do like active search, which has to do with publishing your search questions into the network. Because at the moment, the things you want to search for are mostly stored inside of people's minds rather than uh, already pre-existing in text. So you can't use Google search to find it, but you can use
Mm,
like Twitter to find it, and you can use Substack to find it,
yeah,
because you can get inside of people's minds by running social queries rather than running, you know, text-based search queries. Um,
it's a cool did you just came up with this now like
No, no, no. There's this guy Henrik Carlson who has an essay that's basically about this.
okay,
Um,
I'll look it up.
and yeah, it was a very influential idea to me when I read it, because I started to realize like, oh, every conversation that I have is kind of an opportunity for me to be running some kind of search on the universe almost, or like on the network of all people's minds, because our minds are connected to each other because we think about each other.
Hmm.
Um, and and I don't know, maybe this connects with your research about how culture is more
Yeah,
intelligent than
yeah.
individual units also. Um, since there's a sense in which neural networks are also just conducting search. So anyway, um, roughly that's the direction I'd take. I think
Mhm.
in your case, I mean, there's other stuff to do and other stuff to think about it, but it sounds like you're feeling pretty good. Like you're pretty happy, you're pretty healthy, you're relatively happy with your life and relationships and the way that you're spending your time, except that you're just not in the right subfield yet. Like you haven't
Yeah,
kind of gotten there.
yeah,
And so, in order to get there, regardless of what you do next specifically, so then the final thing to worry about is just like logistics. So, logistically, like, are you worried about getting your next job? Are you worried about your ability to like pay the bills or like work somewhere that you like or work on a team that you enjoy, that sort of thing?
yeah. I'm a bit worried. It's something that stresses me, that gives me a bit of anxiety, because it
Okay.
feels very uncertain, and it feels
Yeah.
very, and it's something very important. So I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's okay
Okay.
if I
Cool.
don't get it
That
right
makes sense.
time, but yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So I would say those are kind of the two sides that I would focus on the one side, I would just start to do the social work because remember how I said the reputational stuff takes the longest? It's like if you start doing, think of this as like almost social entrepreneurship or something. It's like if you start uh, identifying with these open-ended researchers and having conversations uh, and like don't pressure yourself to do any particular thing. Just
Mm,
realize that like you need to be doing more of all of the things. Like you need to write more on it, but if you don't feel like writing, just like DM people. And if you don't feel like DMing
mm,
people, just like send a tweet. And if you don't feel
mm,
like sending a tweet, just journal about it. But like the point is sort of this putting yourself closer and closer into this open-ended research bucket as something that you identify as and you are actively contributing to, even if it's in a small way, um, by participating socially.
mhm.
Just given that you know yourself, you know that you're smart, you know you care about it, like all you have to do is show up and then you're naturally going to do good work. So that's kind of on the social side. That's going to take like a year or two
Mm,
and you can make it go faster. So if you're ambitious, you could do it. You can make big progress in like a couple months.
okay.
Um, but building a reputation in that group or amongst those people inevitably just takes time. People want to see that you are consistently contributing and you don't burn out, right? And then so that's on the social side, and unfortunately, it doesn't pay the bills. And then on this kind of like financial career angle, what am I going to do here? I would definitely just spend some time figuring out like, well, what is a step? Because ultimately, I kind of know where I want to be going. Like, I want to be going toward this open-ended research thing. What's a
Yeah.
step that brings me at least one step closer,
Mhm.
if not multiple steps closer to that, and that opens up options for me, and
Mm,
makes it easier for me in the future to decide what I want to do, so that the next time this decision is less stressful and I have less anxiety. Um, and
yeah.
so in that case, we're making incremental progress, right?
Mhm.
Uh, do you have any top of mind options there for like career steps that you feel like could be good for you? These could be accelerators or structured programs, like I mentioned. Could be different research labs that you want to join, or it could be like jobs that pay you a lot of money, such that you have more years of runway in the future.
Yeah.
Any of those things.
I think, well, the first thing that comes to mind, I could join a research lab from my university. Like that wouldn't be too difficult, and they would hire me for 6 months or a year. So I would be doing research probably on something kind of aligned to what I'm interested in. Um, yeah, and on the side I could explore and like meet more people. Um, doing searching for a job just for like earning more money. I don't know if I would.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Let's just roll that out then. There's no point.
Yeah.
What's money good for anyway?
Uh, yeah, or otherwise, like there are smaller research lab, like here in Zurich there is one that does like um reasoning, and I could try to join them as well. I also tried to reach out, I still didn't. And yeah, try meet them because I still don't know anyone there.
So at the moment, it seems like you kind of are. That's a relatively short list. Like I try to make the list longer.
Okay.
You said you journal. Like I definitely spend some time journaling on this list
Mm.
and make it a lot longer, and also be a lot more ambitious. Like uh, you talk about DeepMind a lot. Like just put DeepMind on the list.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
They should be on there, and you certainly should apply. Like there's no world where you should not. I mean, if you feel like there's a bunch of people at DeepMind who are doing better work than you and are like using their potential more, that's incremental progress, no matter what,
Hmm.
which is great. And a bunch of really smart people there who are probably thinking about the same sorts of thoughts that you're thinking about. And inevitably, like you might feel like that is an imperfect fit for you,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
but as long as it's incrementally progressing you, like you'll probably meet collaborators there who feel the same way. They are like, ambitious. They came there because they wanted to be surrounded by smart people and they wanted to meet people like you. And
Yeah.
then maybe they also felt like it's not a perfect fit, and then you go build a research lab together or something. That sort of thing can happen. Um, and so I definitely make sure that the list is like as long as and ambitious as you can
Okay.
make it.
Yeah.
And then take the most ambitious item on the list that like feels like the hardest like surely there's no way I could do that, but it feels like the most exciting to you. And definitely at least start to break down what would be required to do that, specifically by reaching out to people and being like, because that's, you value that thing, right? Like you find it deeply exciting and it's also a very ambitious goal. And people love to help other people achieve ambitious goals. It's like one of the
Mhm.
most exciting things that people like to do. So then you want to start reaching out to people kind of like how you reached out to me and be like, hey, like I have this really ambitious goal. I feel like you're somebody who might know how to achieve that goal. And I
Mhm.
could really use some advice
Yeah.
because I'm not exactly sure what to do. I can tell you about some of the things that I've been trying, but I would really really appreciate your advice. And if you send a message like that to, I don't know, even like three people, probably one of them will respond to you
Mm.
because everyone likes helping people, and then uh, you'll just get direct advice on how to achieve your most ambitious goals. And then they might say, that's not possible, and then you would know. But rather than like thinking in your bedroom, like, oh, I don't know if this is possible or not, like you don't know, you don't have the information required to know that. Whereas
Yeah.
like there are these other people who have a much clearer picture of the environment because either they've already worked there, they've already achieved that goal, or they're close to achieving that goal, they know people who've achieved that goal. And then they'll be, now you're connected to the network again. And so again, you're like running these queries on a mind that's a lot more powerful than yours. And then they'll be like, oh, I actually know this friend, I have this friend, like we can introduce you, that sort of thing. Does that feel like too scary to do, or is that like, oh yeah, that makes sense, I'll just do that?
No, yeah, it feels very exciting. Yeah, I'd like to do
Cool.
that.
I would just
Yeah.
definitely do that. And inevitably, those connections, like you're going to be able to talk to those people about your ideas. Like it's all connected, right?
Hmm.
Um, and I tend to encourage people to do this with their most exciting and ambitious goal
Hmm.
during phases where they're considering stuff, because a lot of people count out their most exciting and ambitious goals and then try to pick like down the list, which is the exact opposite approach of how you make good career progress. It's more like you take the most ambitious and exciting goal and you use that as motivation. You use it as like fuel, and then that's the thing that you tell everyone about because because they get excited about that too. So it's like it's more combustible. It has like more energy in it,
Hmm.
and then you use that and those conversations as fuel to get as far as you can. And realistically, you might not make it all the way to the goal, but but like because of all the conversations that you're having that are fueled by the motivation of the goal, you'll get way further than you would have gotten if you just like went for something that was less ambitious.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Cool. I think those are some good next steps.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you
Anything
so much.
else that you feel like would be worth talking about? But I just feel like if you journal on those things, you'll at least have some good ideas. And if you want my advice or anything on next steps, you're welcome to just reach out to me privately.
Cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, this was super helpful. Yeah, thank you so
Cool.
much.
Perfect, dude. Yeah, take care and best of luck.
Cool.